Hello everybody, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back with another video with a double upload Sunday since I missed my upload yesterday. It's been a crazy week, so I've been trying to keep up with uploads. But fantasy football, first game of the playoffs, the first 2 weeks of the playoffs will be up tomorrow. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of NFL tier ranking, a little bit randomly ranking the QBs' expectations going into next year, or at least how well they would perform next year. But before we get started, please leave a like down below, comment any suggestions for the channel, and subscribe if you have not already. Let's get right into the video. So as you see on screen, I have a list of all the quarterbacks here. From about Aaron Rodgers up is kind of all the people that are on my spinning the wheel. Basically, either the expected starter, an anticipated starter, or someone who I think has the caliber of at least playing up to a starter level. And basically, we're going to take this little tier ranking. We're going to do 1 through 5 first. Then we're going to do a second round of 1 through 10. And then we're going to do a major round of 1 through 15 to see how well I can calculate how well each of these quarterbacks are expected to go into the next year. Also, just realized it messed up my order a little bit, so I'm going to readjust that before we get started. But basically, we're just going to spin it, and it's going to be me kind of saying, hey, I place this person here based on how well I think they're going to perform next year, or how well I think they would perform next year if they got the starting position. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, now roughly, it's going to be from Jameis Winston up for all the people that are on the list. So there's my wheel. I'm going to shuffle it up, spin it around, and we're going to randomly rank these guys based on what my opinion of them is. So number 1, CJ Stroud. I mean, he's going to be number 2 at the very least on this list. I'm not going to lie. I'm having high expectations of how well he's going to do next season. I think he's only going to go up from there. I'm only putting him at number 2 just because I think there's a solid 5 or 6 people, maybe 7 or 8 that you can kind of argue for 1 and 2. Like, I would still argue Jalen Hurts going next season is going to do well. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't personally say Justin Herbert, but I get it if people want to say Justin Herbert. And also, this is not contingent on their other players. This is not like saying who's going to have the most passing yards or stuff like that, but who I just think is going to be the most comparable quarterback back there. And of course, somebody like Justin Herbert who doesn't have any help is probably going to do worse than CJ Stroud, who has all the help. So it's not ranking based on that ability. It's ranking based on what I think their max potential of next season could be. Also, Andy Dalton's not supposed to be up there. Boom. Man, is he number 1 though? On this list, there's only 5 or 6 that are going to be like above him. Like Lamar Jackson, I put above him. Trevor Lawrence, I may put above him. There's a couple you can argue that I'm looking at and like, but like the rookies I wouldn't go with. So maybe he is number 1, but I'm going to put him at number 2. Just to be safe, I'm going to put him at number 2. Just because I think there's a couple quarterbacks you can argue that are probably better. Jameis Winston, like famous Jameis, but I think of this list, he's probably, like on the smaller list, he's probably going to be one of the worst ones. So I'm going to put him at number 5, I think. I'm debating number 4, but like there's just not many that are worse. Like I put Mac Jones below him. I put Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell. It's kind of like similar with CJ Stroud, so I'll probably still put CJ Stroud at number 1, but we're going to go with it. Mac Jones, well, there you go. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. There's my opera. Mac Jones, number 4. All right, well, it's not the worst ranking, but like I do like Jameis Winston decently better. So this is a good measuring tool for my own head for this first round of seeing how well I think all these guys are going to do. Drake May, I think he fits in perfectly at 3. I don't personally think he's going to be all that great, but like he's a good middle of the road. I think he's going to do just fine. And then number 1 spot, Russell Wilson. So yeah, there's a lot of adjustments needed here. I think CJ Stroud going at number 1 would definitely be better, but I think it'd be CJ Stroud, Russell Wilson, Drake May, and then swap Jameis Winston and Mac Jones. It's a big L here because I mean pretty much take the whole list except for Drake May. But that was a warm up. We're getting to the 10s now. Here we are, 1 through 10. Here we go. Now I got more like a context in my mind. Like there's 5 rookies that are on this list. There's 32 expected starters, 27 if you take out the rookies, and then there's probably about 5 to 8 of the like regular, probably maybe up to 10 of the quarterbacks that have potential. So like now I have a little bit more context. So let's go with that. Trevor Lawrence, man, I would love to put him at number 2. I think I am still going to put him at number 2 just because I think the top quarterbacks, there's not many I think above Trevor Lawrence. And I'd still argue he's probably going to have higher expectations and potential than Justin Herbert even, because we just haven't seen much from Justin Herbert since his great day versus Trevor Lawrence has shown pretty good consistency. Granted, Justin Herbert has too. I'm just kind of I'm a Justin Herbert not liker. I don't know. I'm not high on Justin Herbert. I'm high on Trevor Lawrence. So you can argue those two, but like other than that, maybe 6 other quarterbacks above him. So I think honestly Trevor Lawrence at number 2 is better than when I put CJ Stroud at number 2. So I think that's completely valid for this list right now. And I wouldn't put any of the rookies above him. So kind of works out. Geno Smith, no, Daniel Jones. I just don't expect him to do very well. Put him at 8 because like I think I see a couple like Marcus Mariota. Is there like only a handful that I think are going to do worse than Daniel Jones, or be worse than Daniel Jones that are on this list? Because I have Carson Wentz. I'd argue Carson Wentz might be like right above Daniel Jones. So I think I'm putting him at 9, just because like Zach Wilson. Oh man, I love Zach Wilson. I think they should give him more shots, but like at the same time, I'm putting him at 10. So like, ugh, like there's not many I'd put below Daniel Jones, honestly. Even Mariota, maybe even. Is Daniel Jones the worst quarterback on this list? Besides maybe Jameis. No, I would put Jameis above him. I think Daniel Jones is number 10 because it goes Deshaun Watson up at the moment. And I'm not seeing any quarterback I'd put above him except for Mac Jones. Or sorry, below him except for like Mac Jones. That's pretty bad. Maybe Zach Wilson, but like when you only have like 2 quarterbacks that maybe you put below him, I think I'll put Daniel Jones number 10. I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't like Daniel Jones at all. In terms of his play. Derek Carr, though, is a little bit better. I think people shit on him a little too much. I get it. His stats aren't great. He isn't the best QB by any means. I guess I gotta find him now. I feel like I'm searching through where's Waldo? Am I gonna put him at 7? I think 7's a fair spot for him. I think there's a lot of room in between him and Daniel Jones. So I'm gonna put him at 7 and feel decently good about it. Cause I put all the rookies above him and all that stuff. Like Carson Wentz, I put right number 9. I think he's solid at number 9. I think I like Sam. Do I like Sam Darnold? Or do I like Carson Wentz more? That's a good question. Marcus Mariota, I'd probably put below him. Mac Jones, I put below him. So that's 2. Kenny Pickett, I'd probably still put above him. Not by much, but like, I think Carson Wentz is a good 9. A good 9. A solid 9. You know, I think there's a couple that go below him, but otherwise, no. Desmond Ridder, I think, is actually pretty much perfect for number 8. I think he's slightly better than Carson Wentz, slightly worse than Derek Carr. If I just find Desmond Ridder here, wherever he is. I see Sam Howell, which I always mistaken him for, but I can't see Desmond Ridder. Where is Desmond Ridder? Ah, there he is. He's sneaking in that little corner there. Yeah, I think I'd say, just because I like how many yards he's able to put up versus Carson Wentz. I mean, like, that's debatable. This one's debatable, but I like it personally. I think I'd rather take Desmond Ridder than Carson Wentz in this next season. Derek Carr, slightly above him, but it looks like we're going to have a very poor tier list in terms of how the players. But Kyler Murray might be able to save us here. Kyler Murray. Man, where does Kyler go? I'm going to go and spin the wheel while I'm deciding on this just because I don't want to waste time. No wasting time here. Kyler Murray, we'll put 4. I think, well, is there really that much room between him and Trevor? I'll be honest, maybe not. I like Trevor. I like Kyler. I like both of them. I think I put Kirk Cousins slightly below him. I think I put all the rookies slightly below him. CJ Stroud to go above both these guys. Anthony Richardson to go right below both these guys. I think Kyler at 3. Is that crazy? I think Kyler at 3 is kind of crazy. But Will Levis perfectly at 6. I think this has been a perfect building of the mountain here. Because Will Levis at 6 is actually quite perfect. Now I need a top spot. And like, there's a lot of room between Kyler and Will Levis. So like, hopefully that pans out. But I like Will Levis. He's good. He's solid. But like, he just hasn't shown me anything. And there's our number 1, Patty Mahomes. We're going to go spit that. We're going to go and spin it again. Because we know where Patty Mahomes is going to go. He's going to go straight at number 1. So we have a lot of room in between Kyler and Will Levis. We'll see who's going to be there. Brock Purdy. You know what? I think I would put Brock Purdy above. Would I put? Okay, so he's going at number 4. He's going at number 4 definitely because he's definitely a top end quarterback. But like, man, if it wasn't for the 49ers offense, I would say that like I like Kyler and Trevor better. But obviously, I think Brock Purdy's probably going to have better stats than both these guys. But I just don't like Brock Purdy. I think he's just hiding behind a couple things that are making him look better. I don't think he's bad by any means. I think he's still easily a top 10 quarterback, even without the 49ers roster. And that's maybe controversial to say. But I think Kyler Murray and Trevor Lawrence are a top 10. Like, they're definitely top 10 quarterbacks. So I think this is fine. I like Trevor Lawrence and then Kyler Murray and then Brock Purdy. But then again, it's not who I like. It's who I think maybe is better. And maybe I'm just still now on the Brock Purdy train. Maybe I'm still a hater. Jimmy G. You can argue this number spot, and look at that, ESPN. It never fails. Every video, ESPN goes off on my phone. I think I put Jimmy G right above Desmond Ridder, but right above Desmond Ridder, but below Derek Carr and Will Levis. But I don't hate this list. I think it's a solid list for all things considering. Patty Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy can be argued for these 3, these 3 spots. I think all 3 of these guys could be argued in some way. And then you got Jimmy G, who would definitely go below Will Levis and Derek Carr. So that's the one big blemish. Then you got Will Levis, then Derek Carr, then Desmond Ridder, then Carson Wentz, then Daniel Jones. I think that's pretty perfect, except for Jimmy G. So it's time for the big monster 15. Here we are shuffling up the wheel. We're going to go and spin it right away, but here you go. All 15 lists right here. It's going to be one of the hardest ones, but maybe we can pull it off. We almost pulled off 10, but we'll see what we can do. Kyler Murray's right back at it. I shuffled it up, as you guys kind of saw, but we'll go Kyler Murray. All right, this is a tough one, because again, maybe I was a little too hard on Brock Purdy, but again, I think you can argue. I think you can argue it pretty easily. I think Kyler Murray at 3 is pretty solid. I think there's still kind of, quite a few quarterbacks, maybe 4. Like, I'd probably still take Jalen Hurts over him. Brock Purdy's arguable. Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. Then we got in iffy territory. So maybe 3 is all right. Just with 15 spins, it's a lot. Dak Prescott I'd probably take above him. I think, honestly, we got lucky not getting Dak Prescott because I think I would like him better. So maybe Kyler at 4 is a little bit more solid. So we're going to take Kyler at 4 and go from there. I think Kyler at 4 is still pretty healthy. Well, Mac Jones is probably the worst quarterback on this list. I like Mac Jones. Again, I like all these guys in their own light, but at the same time, I think he's definitely the worst of the ones I chose to put on this list. I think he's easily, maybe Zach Wilson you could argue, but I like Zach Wilson better than him personally, but there's not much you can argue outside of that. I think Mac Jones is just easily the worst on this list. Then you got Lamar Jackson, so I'm glad I left some room up there, because Lamar's got to be number 2. Like, you can argue 3 quarterbacks above Lamar. That's kind of the vibe, and this early on getting Lamar, I think you kind of have to put Lamar at 2. I mean, if it was later on, I think I'd risk going number 1, but there's Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I think those 3 are solidly above him, and maybe you could argue another quarterback, but then again, he's definitely that guy there. Like, he's definitely, there's only 3 above him. That's the 3. Like, no Justin Herbert, no Trevor Lawrence. He's number 4. He is the most solid number 4 I've ever seen. So, like, it's a 3 in, like, 40 chance of getting that many times. I think I got to keep him number 2. This early on, got to put him at number 2. That could really bite me in the ass in the future. But for now, we're good. Jimmy G's probably number 14, right? Like, Zach Wilson's probably below him. And, like, Daniel Jones probably below him. That's about it, though. I mean, Zach Wilson, Joe Burrow. Zach Wilson, I put Sam Darnold above him. I'd put Sam Howell above him. Put Desmond Ridder above him. I put a lot of people above him, except for maybe, like, I don't know, I really got nobody else other than Zach Wilson that I'd maybe put above him. But even then, Zach Wilson, I think maybe he's better than him. Is Jimmy G really the second worst quarterback on this list? I think he is. I think I put everybody else above him at least. Sam Howell's arguable, I guess. I think I put him at number 14 pretty easily. He's solid. Again, all these quarterbacks I think are, like, reliable, but I just don't know, like, what to what level. Baker Mayfield's an interesting one, though. Baker is an interesting one. I like this. I like this a lot because it's hard. So I think Baker's is in top half, right? He's got to be, like, top half because he's solid. He's super solid. But is he, like, 6? Is he, like, right below Kyler? I think there's a lot of room between him and Kyler. So maybe him at 6 is pretty good, because who's like him between him and Kyler? I think Russell's right below him. Man, I don't see many. Maybe there's not many in between him and Kyler. I think you could argue Brock Purdy 1. You could argue that's about it, actually. From what I'm seeing, I think everybody else is at least solidly above him. Maybe I do put Baker at 6. I put Baker at 5. I'll put Baker at 5. That feels a little weird to say, but the way I've made this list, it's kind of like it's left a lot of room up at the top. So, Kurt, I probably put above. No, I put Kurt below. I put Kurt below both those guys. I think I'm just gonna go instantly number 5. I guess there's not many people I put between him and Kyler. Trevor, I put. You could argue Trevor right there, but like I think I'm just gonna instinctively put 5. I think it's the move. I'm gonna let that spin, let that go. Deshaun Watson, like Tua, no, below both of them. Matthew Stafford. I put Matthew Stafford below both of them, but also get the argument for him being higher. Sam Howell. I mean, my gosh, I think I'm putting him at number 5. That's such a weird statement to say. Russell Wilson. That's another hard one. That's right in the middle. I think I gotta put him at like number 7. I think there's a lot of room between him and Baker, because I think you can put like Brock Purdy pretty easily. But no, Brock Purdy definitely be number 3 on this list. Now I think about Brock Purdy would have been definitely number 3 on this list. So I gotta hope I don't get him. Man, is there anybody really between Russell Wilson and like Baker Mayfield? Like that's another weird one to ask, because like I'd probably put Jared Goff above him, Jordan Love above him. Not many though, like 2. Anthony Richardson I probably put above him, but below Baker. So maybe that's 3. Do I put like the rookies above him? I probably put at least Caleb Williamson above him. Caleb Williams. I don't know why I said Williamson. Drake May, would he? No, I don't think Drake May would go above him. I think Jaden Daniels and maybe I put Russell at 8. I put Russell at 8. Put Russell at 8. That's my instinct. That's my instinct. I got a feeling. I got a feeling. I got a gut. I got a gut instinct. Zach Wilson, I think number 13, pretty easily. I'm glad we're building this up a little bit. I think he's better than Jimmy G. People would argue that. I think I put him above Jimmy G this next season, 100%. Oh, can he pick it? Can he pick it? Can he pick it? Okay, this is an interesting one indeed. Number 10, 11. Number 11. That just feels solid. You know, I got no opinion. I just think he's a lower end quarterback. I just think he's not going to be great. We've got Jimmy G again, so this actually gives me another round to think whether I'll can he pick it there. I think there's a decent amount of room between him and Russ, and I think there's probably at least another quarterback that's between him and Zach. Jordan Love, though, will be right below Baker Mayfield. Right below. It's below Baker Mayfield, definitely. Just because I honestly haven't seen a whole lot from him. He's been good. But do I put him in the above Russell Wilson area? Would I put some of the rookies above him? I think I would put Caleb Williams above him, but maybe Jordan Love's the perfect in between him and Jaden Daniels. Because I like Jaden Daniels more. Or sorry, I like Jordan Love a little bit more. But do I think Jordan Love's right there with Baker? Right there with Baker or right above Russ? I think he's right below Baker. Because I think you can argue Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels below Jordan Love just because of the how well they're proven in the NFL. So that's a solid one. Joe Burrow, though, is solidly number 1. I think you could argue again, maybe number 3 if you want to be really frisky. But the way I'm creating this list, Joe Burrow's number 1. And there's still a lot of room. There's still not many spins left. So maybe it'll give us enough room. Aaron Rodgers, though, I think has to be number 3. I think Aaron Rodgers right now, until he says otherwise, I think is the third best scorer, or right outside top 6 or top 5. I mean, he's number 8, 9 maybe of that list. Sam Howell would be a nice one to get. Sam Howell, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go ahead and look real quick. Sam Howell, I'd put perfectly in that list, or would I put him below or above Kenny? I think I'd put him right below Kenny. By the way, I realized I've mixed up Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell in the last list, so I don't know how well that list actually panned out, but it didn't pan out anyway, because I realized Sam Howell's the one who puts up the numbers, while Desmond Ridder's more of a mediocre guy. Sam Howell, though, I will put right above Kenny. I'll put Sam Howell right above Kenny. I like Sam Howell a little bit better than Kenny, but it's arguable. Then you got Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew's right below Kenny, I think. Then again, I think Gardner Minshew may be better than I kind of give him credit for. Maybe 8. Maybe 8's perfect there. Right now, it's not bad actually. Russ to Gardner to Sam Howell to Kenny, then to Zach. Right now, I don't hate it. I think I put Gardner there because Gardner below Kenny feels disrespectful to Gardner Minshew, I'll be honest with you. And now we got Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels actually makes sense here. I think that's the best rookie we could have got there. Drake May, I think, is another one you could easily argue in that kind of category. But where is Jaden? Where did I put? Oh, there he is. Put him I think he's right above Russ. I think he's right below Jordan Love. I think that's easy. Caleb Williams is kind of maybe right above Jordan Love, maybe in the Baker Mayfield type area, just with how well rookie. It's a rookie year type deal. He's probably has a higher ceiling, but next year, who knows? And then, of course, we ended off with probably the worst take of all time, Brock Purdy at number 12. Of course, it comes down to that. Brock Purdy should not be at 12. He probably on this list would be easily number 5. So, yeah, this is quite bad. But I think everything else, Joe Burrow to Lamar Jackson to Aaron Rodgers to Kyler Murray to Baker Mayfield to Jordan Love to Jaden Daniels to Russell Wilson to Gardner Minshew to Sam Howell to Kenny Pickett to Brock Purdy to Zach Wilson to Jimmy G to Mac Jones is perfect. If you take Brock Purdy out of this, completely perfect. You know what? Just for fun, for shits and giggles, we'll say we get one whammy or one mulligan or whatever, and we'll decide to spin again. Justin Fields there where Brock Purdy is. I would say no. I think Justin Fields is right below. I'd say almost right below or right above Russ, but I'd give him right below Russ, I think. But so no matter what, the list wouldn't have been good. But that is my attempt at randomly ranking all the quarterbacks on the tier list. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is actually decently difficult, but I like this list. I liked all of them. But I think this one was definitely the best by far. Thank you guys for watching. StraightA Dawson is out of here. See you guys later.